So this says director's take talking tanks and upcoming hero balance changes. You know what's really funny? Hot take, chat. They should not be talking about upcoming hero balance changes right after the new fucking season just dropped. The new season had some of the most boring fucking changes. I mean, the Cassidy nade was cool and whatnot, but like this season feels exactly like the last season. There's no, I thought every season was supposed to feel unique. Anyways, let's see this. Hey everyone, it's been a bit since our last director's take. We missed a few of these in the recent months. Sorry for the gap, and speaking to all of you will continue to be a priority for the team. Let's talk about tanks. Let me rephrase that. A lot of you are talking about tanks, and I'd like to contribute from a developer point of view. We've heard from players that the tank role is in a tough spot right now, and it's been since Season 8 ended. We agree. That's not easy to say. That's not to say that tanks were in a perfect spot before Season 9, but the problem now is that most of them just don't feel as tanky as they should. Many times, both support heroes need to focus solely on the tank just to keep them alive. In this scenario, both the tank and supports can feel like they have limited options in their gameplay, as they are essentially tied to each other. Well, yes, a tank is supposed to go into the front lines, chat, and create space and take most of the fucking damage, because that is the character that's supposed to be like, you know, controlling the fight. It's your tank. And then your healers are supposed to be healing that tank to keep him alive, while your DPS do damage. I don't understand. Our internal stats show this as well. We've come up with a new metric since Season 9 that we simply call tankiness. It's roughly the number of deaths a hero experiences compared to how many deaths they ought to experience. There are a lot of stats that go into determining what an expected death is, and I'm not able to go into that level of detail here. The point is that your experience and our data are aligned. So wait a minute. So if your tank goes and feeds and dies in a 1v5, can they say that was an expected death and not that he was feeding or anything? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much I don't even know what the hell is an expected death. I mean, if your team plays perfectly, shouldn't you have no deaths in a perfect game? Since Season 9, almost all the heroes in the game have become less tanky. This isn't all unintended. One of the issues we were addressing at the time was the sheer amount of burst damage and healing available. However, most tanks, excluding Ball, who is roughly the same, moved a lot further than heroes in other roles. Recent changes like the headshot damage reduction on tanks had some effect on this, but still under where we like to be. Oh god, they're just fucking buffing tanks again, chat. Let's see. If they're gonna keep buffing the survivability of tanks, they're gonna have to nerf their damage. Their damage, you cannot be like this indestructible fucking tank that does a shit ton of damage, more damage than DPS fucking players. I just don't understand. Most of the games that I play, I have a fucking Winston that has like gold fucking damage, and he just still doesn't die. Now imagine that being worse. We still like many of the game's wide changes that were implemented over the last few seasons. The projectile size increase, the headshot damage and knockback reduction on tanks, the passive health regeneration on all heroes. Those are all good. I don't know. Yeah. However, we are currently discussing is whether the path forward from here should be centered around broad systematic. Oh my god, I can't even speak today. Systemic changes or per hero changes. Sorry, I can't read today. We're discussing limited versions of the former. For instance, we're looking at reduced versions of the damage passive role. Then they literally... This is what I don't understand. You should try cooking with it. What? This? Nah, I'm good. Anyways, what I don't understand is that they had the damage passive at 20%. They nerfed it to 15%, I think, and now they buffed it back to 20%. So now they're looking at another reduced damage roll passive. Like, I don't understand. The damage roll passive is useless in my opinion anyways, because not all DPS characters are going to what do you call it? Benefit from this. Tracer spraying is going to be more effective than, let's say, a Pharah hitting one shot at a time, or a Widowmaker for that instance. I don't know. Buff Pharah. Yeah, you guys have absolutely no idea what you're talking about if you're saying buff Pharah, when Pharah is one of the strongest characters right now, if not even one of the strongest, probably the strongest. However, we like to do more of the latter. Individual buffs or nerfs to heroes can have a dramatic impact on their effectiveness compared to a broad change that targets all heroes or a role. Additionally, it further reinforces the difference between heroes. For an example, one of the reasons Reinhardt ought to feel tanky is through his shield. How does this relate to tanks? We're putting together a patch that is targeted at increasing the tankiness of many of these heroes, but we're doing it through individual changes to each of them. Oh, this is going to be very interesting, chat. Ideally, these changes would build on a hero's fantasy. Increasing the health of Reinhardt's shield is a good example of accomplishing both of these goals. This is a priority for a balanced team, and right now we're targeting either mid-season 11 or season 12. We'll have more details on some of these changes to expect and more concrete timing soon. This touches on some of the discussions we've been having about balance philosophy in general. Balance in the game is very nuanced, and that doesn't depend on the total power level or win rate of a hero. That's not true. I think they do balance a character on the win rate of the hero. They always talked about, hey, this character has a 57% win percentage. This character is good at the current meta or whatever. There's no way they just said if a hero has a very high win rate, they would nerf that character. We look at pick rate, skill tier, region, and platform, and not to mention a myriad of other individual stats like the amount of damage, deaths, and kills heroes have. On top of stats, design goals and community perception also guide our decisions. Some of the recent metas have brought into question the different ways we look at balancing heroes that could be considered niche. These are heroes that the community is okay with and having both a high win rate and a high pick rate. When Reinhardt hits a 60% win rate, which is considered very high for us, and is played often, there are very few complaints. When a character like Roadhog does this, he recently topped out around 54%. The community reacts differently. There are heroes that the community deems more fair or less frustrating than others. These mechanics of some heroes, especially at really high levels of play, require us to pay more attention to them. We still want every hero to be competitively viable, and we love that some of our heroes can be right situational pick. But we think it's healthier for the game for us to proactively and in more timely manner manage certain heroes that prevent them from dominating. I mean, the only difference that people like Reinhardt more than Roadhog is that Roadhog doesn't... I don't know. Roadhog is just a big character that can just one-shot everything. Or not one-shot everything. What do you call it? He doesn't create... I don't know. For me, a better tank would be Reinhardt. Reinhardt is a character that goes in, he has a shield, he protects his team, he creates space. Roadhog is not a character that does that. Roadhog is a character that goes in there, is very selfish, hooks a target, can one-shot that target, and as well as, you know, go on the flank or not play with his team, and then, like, if he really wants, he could just heal himself. In that vein, where is the balance in the next few days of season... what are the balance in the first few days of season 11? On the tank side, there is no standout winner, with Diva, Sigma, Winston, Junker Queen, Reinhardt, and Zarya in the upper half, with their win rates all being between 50 to 55%. I thought they literally just said balance in the game is very nuanced and doesn't depend on just total power level and win rate of a hero, but they're talking about the win rates right here. Does that not make any sense to me, chat? Or is that just me? With damage, Pharah continues to excel around 58%. Reaper at 55%. Reaper has a 55% win rate, and Mei at 50% have risen, and Sojourn dramatically fell around 44%. What? Supports are relatively stable, with Alari being the biggest mover, rising a few percentage points to around 55%. That's it for this week. We should have another director's take without in a few weeks' time. Until then, have an amazing season 11 and let's make a great game. I don't know if we're making a great game. No, their whole balance has been around win rate, chat. They always try to balance all the characters around win rate. I don't know, man. Something about Blizzard's balancing just doesn't seem smart to me. I don't know. I feel like they do a lot of fucking stupid shit, but that's just me. Like one of the changes that I don't understand is that a long time ago they buffed Sojourn. Sojourn was a really dominant character, and then they said, "Wow, the lower ranks can't really hit their rails and can't build rails, so we're gonna give Sojourn the ability to keep 25 energy for free." Yeah, I don't know, man. I actually there's 0 comments. Are you serious? I want to see what people are saying. 22 comments. Let's see what they're saying, chat. I just don't understand. This is good actually. Huh, good job. But like, if y'all look at this, at all this, why have you left Lifeweaver trash for so long? Like, why have you had so much time? You have so much time and y'all just leave him trash. I found a Lifeweaver main, chat. Well, interesting read. Not 100% on board with what they're aiming for, but appreciate that there's a direction in mind. What the f is this? I don't get it. Is May in a good spot or bad spot, or simply in a spot? Is it a cool spot? Does she even like 7-Up? What was I talking about again? What the f am I reading? They really do not have a clue. That is the best post. That is the best post that I see today. Yeah, I don't know. So are we just going to use that focus retroactively and get rid of the DPS passive that blanket nerfs all supports and nerf problematic ones instead? Nice joke, devs. More power to tanks. Go. Raid bosses every season. Remove DPS passive. Game fixed. Okay, if you remove DPS passive, the game is not fucking fixed. I don't know what rank or how smart this person is, but that is one of the fucking worst takes I've ever seen. Y'all Blizzard annoy me so bad. Who cares? Talk about Lifeweaver. Bro, some of these people on these forums fucking scare me, chat. Why do we need to talk about Lifeweaver? Why can't the... Like, I just don't understand. Maybe... So this person's whole post about why tanks are very, like... are not getting a buff, or why tanks need a buff. This guy says maybe bring Lucio damage back from 17 to 18. Like, this guy's whole... this guy's name is Sombra's Feet 9. And this is his change that he's bringing to fix Blizzard. Blizzard has done an amazing job at making tanks stronger than ever, while somehow making it boring anyway at the same time to play. Bro... What I don't understand is, why are they making tanks stronger? Like, you're gonna make these tanks so fucking strong to the point where they're not gonna fucking die? They're already doing more DPS than DPS characters. And now, on top of that, you're gonna make them even harder to kill. I just don't understand. I just don't understand. And then they're gonna target the DPS passive. They targeted the DPS passive already and made it 15% from 20%, and it made DPS feel so fucking useless that they had to buff it back to 20%. I just don't understand. I feel personally, you know what, chat? Personally, f it. Remove the damage roll passive, remove the support passive, remove the tank passive. Keep the healing in the game. When you don't take damage, you self-heal. That's all the roles. And f it, go back to 6v6, because I don't think they know what they're doing at this fucking point. I'm gonna be honest with you. What's gonna solve the tank issue? 2 tanks that are fucking helping each other. You have a Reinhardt, don't buff Reinhardt, give the Reinhardt a fucking Zarya. We all miss Rein Zarya. Is the Winston so fucking powerful, or is the Winston dying every time he jumps in? Well, guess what? 6v6, he'll have a diva. He'll fucking have a defense matrix on him, or have a bubble. Like, I don't know what they're doing. I feel like they're more lost in 5v5 than they were in 6v6. I actually don't think they know how to balance this game. Like I said, Blizzard, if they were smart, chat, what Blizzard would actually need to do is come out with a 6v6 game mode, slap it in an arcade. Who cares? See if people like 6v6. Maybe it was a nostalgia thing. Maybe people want to play 6v6 because they're gonna be, oh my god, I missed it, I want to play it. I'm pretty sure they have systems that could see how much a category is being played. They could see if comp is being played more than quick play, I'm sure. And if the arcade game mode does wonders and pops off and is very popular, wow, it's almost like you should maybe change the game in that direction. Or come out with its own 6v6 role queue, instead of this mystery heroes comp. Yeah, I don't know, chat. I'm scared. Okay, friends, YouTube thinks you might like this next video, so let me know if they're right.